Welcome to Sports Center. We are just an hour away from a crucial Friday night matchup between the Alouettes and Argos. Montreal snapped a 5-game losing skid last week with a shocking win over the Rough Riders. While Toronto started the season at just 2-8, but they have reeled off 3 straight wins, including back-to-back walk-off field goals. So watch out now. Hello, Canada. I'm Sarah Davis, and we've got a huge Week 16 doubleheader of divisional matchups for Friday Night Football. It's going to be the Lions and Stampeders clashing later in Calgary. But first, as we mentioned, Argos surging right now and need just 2 points to tie tonight's opponents, the Owls, for second place in the East. Third-string QB Jared Dagey is under center for Toronto, while McLeod Bethel-Thompson is back for a second straight start for Montreal. And with the latest now, it's Kate and the panel.
And Sarah, that panel would be Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel, and she said that's a couple of great games we've got tonight, a Western clash a little later on, but all eyes will be on Jarrett Dagey and what he can do for these Toronto Argonauts. And he was on First Up this morning and seemed pretty confident.
Me and RD talked about, what I'm comfortable with, what he's comfortable with. We put a game plan together that's pretty simple that I can go out and execute. And then, woke up feeling a little dangerous today. Going to go and swing it around.
Let's go, baby. That's so funny because that's exactly what Milt Stiegel says every day that he wakes up. But he doesn't feel a little dangerous. He feels a lot dangerous. But look, Milt, you got to admire the confidence of this guy who's filling in for Nick Arbuckle.
Without a doubt. And I think that comes from his head coach. He talked about it, Ryan Dinwiddie. They talked, and he said that Ryan Dinwiddie did the same thing for Chad Kelly, in my opinion. What did Chad Kelly do? He won him a Grey Cup. He did the same thing for Chad Arbuckle. What did Chad Arbuckle do? He went and won him a Grey Cup, and he's doing the same thing for Dangerous Dagey. That's what I call him now. So he's making it happen. What does he need to do? He needs to play out of his mind, something he hadn't done in his career, but I think he's capable of doing it because of that confidence.
I mean, a few years ago, this guy's not a shy quarterback. You look back to West Virginia, his last year there, he threw for over 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. He's a guy that's, aggressive and will get the ball down the field. Everyone I talk to says he's got a big arm, he's not going to run around, but he's not shy. So I think that fits to what Coach Dinwiddie wants, someone that's aggressive, take their shots, and against a blitzing Montreal defense, he'll do that. Jake Herslow, there's no question. He's been a guy that's really upped his game. He's a guy that they depend on, and I expect early and often, I expect Dagey to try to find Herslow down the field.
You got to go to the hot hand, and this has been the guy, right? He scored at least 1 touchdown in the last 5 games. He's going to have to find him. And for Mr. Danger Dag, right, the same fire that lights you up can also burn you. So he's got to be careful. He's going to have to do exactly what Nick Arbuckle has done all season long, because this offense for the Toronto Argonauts has been the last in rushing. And so you're going to have to really light it up tonight, and it'll be interesting to do so because the running game has not been necessarily productive. Can you do it when the lights are on? And your point, I think, is the best one, Chess. Yeah. You talked about Noel Thorpe's defense.
Yeah.
He's going to have a field day. I guarantee you the first 5 plays he calls are going to be blitzing.
Yeah,
just to see how he's going to react.
He is Jared Dagey. We're not calling him Dangerous Dagey. He's got 1 win. He's
we are not calling him that. You're not anointing him like that. But you know what? If he plays well tonight,
if he plays well, he's dangerous.
Okay, by the way, you know who is dangerous? That is one emotions right now. He joined the guys on Overdrive for a quick chat. He was asked about his intense reaction with the Elks bench after their last victory.
Well, I'm an emotional guy, right? And my players know that, right? Throughout the week, like you guys get to see it on game day when it's on TV, but I'm like that all the time. So, ownership gave us the opportunity, especially with me, to be the leader of this franchise, right? Obviously learn from that, right? Like I said, I live my life a certain way. I'm emotional, I have my heart on my sleeve. I think our players, like that as well. Some of my players didn't even know what happened after the game. They came up to me, Coach, you're crazy. I'm like, I know. I think both sidelines is tough, but we obviously make that decision as a league as far as advertisement and those things. And, you got to understand that going into it. But, yeah, I think the tempers and the emotions of the football game can get the better of you, especially towards the end. And again, I got to do a better job at that. But, I think at the same time, let my players know, like, we're in here to win it. And, we're in a tough spot, right? So each day is more important for us
We are now joined by the guys from Overdrive. It is Brian Hayes, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie McLennan, and Luke Wilson. Brian, I love that you asked that question to Ryan Dinwiddie. He was very subdued in his answer with you. You know he was fired up after that last game, and the Argos obviously hoping that carries into tonight against the Alouettes.
Absolutely, KB. It's great to see you guys. It's great to be here at BMO Field. Look at the four of us, man. We should do the Dinwiddie kick to get this thing started. He was fired up last week, and he's clearly fired up tonight. You guys have all played for fired-up coaches. Luke, we'll start with you. You love this guy, Ryan Dinwiddie. What's it like to play for a coach with that type of moxie on the sideline?
It just makes you want to run through a wall, because the thing about Coach Dinwiddie is, one, he's won, so he's got that going for him, and two, he's just authentic. You know, it's one thing if you feel like the guy's faking it and you're like, all right, this guy's coming straight out of a Disney movie. It's another thing when you're 5 feet away from the opposing team and you're doing field goal kicks, telling them, I probably won't say exactly what I think he said, but it just makes you really want to rally behind the guy. So, again, I think this kind of run this team has gone on, especially not having their starting quarterback all year, is really a testament to Coach Dinwiddie and his attitude, because he's honest, and he's been there and done that when it comes to winning.
You know, it's like with Pete, too, when you had Pete. Like, it just flows through the team. When a guy comes to the building every day and he's got that excitement, it just makes you want to go out there and run through a wall, man.
Every day. Again, every day. You said it. You sit there and you're like, hey, I'm not feeling it today.
Yelling and screaming works sometimes, but all the time, man, it just doesn't fly.
I don't mind it, though. Listen, I played for Mike Keenan. I played for Darryl Sutter. I played for Jimmy Playfair, who is on the top 10 meltdowns of all time for coaches. He ripped his jacket off and threw it on the ice. So I don't mind a fiery coach as long as it's within reason. They can't do it every week. They can't do it every night. But once in a while, a one-off, I'll accept that.
Well, what I love about this level of fire is it wasn't directed at his own team. It was directed at the other team. That's what makes it so much more amplified. And again, you go into a game like tonight, they better be fired up, the Argos, tonight, because the Alouettes are playing pretty well. The Argos have won 3 in a row. They've given up 30-plus points in all of those wins. They got a third-string quarterback going tonight. Dinwiddie, man, he's won 2 Grey Cups already, but he's coaching as well as he's ever coached this year.
Yeah, he definitely has, and you said it. You know, it is a third stringer going in, but the second stringer, Arbuckle, was in the MOP category before he got hurt. So you tip your cap there, and I will say this, as a kid who grew up playing football in LaSalle, Ontario, if this team does embody the city of Toronto, then this is just me being honest, boys. I got to be honest. You don't like Quebec. You just don't like them. So there is a little bit Montreal-Toronto vibes
it's
here.
It's the greatest rivalry the country's ever seen. Sorry, Noodles. I know Edmonton and Calgary's high on your list.
Yeah.
So Leafs Habs in only a couple of weeks.
Habs, you got this tonight. Like, it's one of those things where if they do, you know, if they're part of the city, you're at home, playoffs are on the line, your head coach has been the most authentic guy of all time. You got to play hard for him and find a way to win.
You miss your boy Chezzy? Do you need your boy Chezzy?
I need my guy Chezzy here right now. To look at me like, Luke, you're an idiot.
How many times does he say that?
Off camera. On camera, he keeps it, you know, he keeps it above board.
Yeah, but Luke brings up a good point. Oh, you've done it. Leafs Habs Saturday night. Yeah. Argos Alouettes on a Friday night. You got beautiful weather and playoff implications. This is pretty much as good as it gets.
Doesn't get any better. The weather is perfect out here. I think I scored an OT winner in Montreal Saturday night.
And you know what he's going to? You know what he's going to do next?
I think
That's a good Ontario.
Like you don't know you did.
But you know what he's doing next? He's running the field. 40-yard dash right down the field. O-dog, high step.
We've been here for 3 hours. We've been waiting for you to do the 40-yard dash.
My shoulder, I can't do it.
The shoulder's the problem. Of course it is. All right, let's go professional here as we throw it back. Reporting live from BMO Field, I'm Brian Hayes.
I'm Jamie Noodles McLennan.
Jeff O'Neill, TSN.
Luke Wilson.
Back to Sports Center.
Oh, boy. They've been waiting 3 hours just to do that. Way to go, guys. So can Daggy lead Toronto to a 4th straight win tonight? You can find out at the top of the clock. That's when the game gets going at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Week 16 kicks off from Toronto, where the Argonauts are hoping their momentum from a thrilling victory against the Elks carries into tonight, but it won't be easy as the Alouettes are coming off a statement victory against the Rough Riders at Mosaic. Montreal, Toronto on deck in Game 1 of our doubleheader.
Anytime's great for football, but I know when it feels just right.
I'm gonna kick back, relax.
Watching football on a Friday night.
It's Friday!
And we're gonna be hard to tame.
It's Friday!
Coast to coast.
The CFL is Canada's game. CFL football.
The game is up for grabs.
It's Friday night football tonight.
With Nick Arbuckle dealing with a calf issue, the Argos turn to Jarrett Daggy tonight, who makes his first ever CFL start. He said this morning that he woke up feeling kind of dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, that would be Tyson Philpott right now. My goodness, he was fantastic. Coming off a career night against the Riders. He's so good, he is absolutely stuck in time. 238 receiving yards, 9 catches, 2 TDs. He wants to move that feeling forward, maybe with a little more movement. Hi, everyone. Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stegall, as we get set for Week 16 in the CFL in Dangerous Daggy. What a nickname that you gave him, Davis Sanchez.
Okay, for clarity, that was Milt Stegall that gave him that nickname. But I will say this, the one thing that you noticed, I mean, you talked about, Enoch, his reaction to the postgame. He was excited. He's a confident kid. You look at his last year in college, he threw up for a ton of yards, a ton of touchdowns. He's aggressive. I don't expect him to be your average quarterback that comes out here for his first or second time and just checks the ball down. I think he's aggressive, and I think he goes downfield.
Confidence, the most important trait. I say this all the time. The most important trait in being successful is confidence. Believe when you're going to be successful. And he believes he's going to go out there and be successful. Evident by what he said this morning when he woke up. He's feeling dangerous.
Right.
Well, he's going to have to be dangerous because this Toronto Argonauts defense hasn't played well all year long. They had a 3-game winning streak, but during his 3-game winning streak, they're giving up 32 points a game. So he's going to have to be dangerous to have an opportunity to win this game.
Yeah, on top of the 32 points a game that you're talking about, Milt, the one thing that I'm concerned a little bit for this offense and Daggy's first game is it's not just about that they've been winning or you know, managing these games. It's how they've been doing it. Nick Arbuckle has had to put so much on his shoulders, and now Daggy coming in his first start, and he's going to have to match what Nick Arbuckle has been doing. And this offense has been averaging 55.7 rushes per game, the last in the league. They have to find ways to alleviate a little bit of that pressure. It's going to be a lot for him, but let's see what you got, Danger.
Do you guys all wake up and say, I feel a little dangerous today?
I say I wake up and I feel beautiful once again.
The girls are all over me, Kay. I don't know how much sleep I got.
What you say? I feel short again.
I feel short again? It's crazy.
Week 16 on the CFL sked, set to kick off on a beautiful Friday night at BMO, with the Argos and Alouettes set to meet for the 3rd and final time this season. Toronto has saved their season with 3 wins in a row. Montreal coming into this one off of a huge upset against the Riders, highlighted by an all-time night from a Canadian kid.
Yeah, Tyson Philpott, what a night for him back in Saskatchewan. 238 yards. That was the second best game for a receiver in Al's history. He was targeted 9 times, caught all 9, and found the end zone twice. Chad Kelly for the Argos isn't ready. Nick Arbuckle is injured and was injured last week versus Edmonton. So the Argos will go with 27-year-old Jarrett Daggy. Daggy's been around the league for 3 years, only 1 start under his belt.
Yeah, he beat his former team coming in late last week. Ryan Dinwiddie much calmer now than he was at the end of the game against Edmonton. But as I mentioned, 3 wins in a row, critical to getting them back in this playoff picture. Jason Moss on the road so far this year, 4-2, and have won 3 of the last 4 regular season games against the Argos. It's a beautiful 19 degrees at kickoff. Montreal won the toss and will take the ball to get us started. Letcher waiting for this opening kick from Haralahu, and we are underway at BMO here on a Friday night. Thank you very much for joining us. Letcher takes it at the 15 to get the party started. Back up to the 30 and the 35 before he is taken down on the play by Theodric Hansen. Here's a look at MVT.
Cloud Bethel-Thompson, 29-37 in his career in the Canadian Football League versus the Toronto. This is just his second start versus the Argos. And this year, 2-4. Big win against Saskatchewan. Snapped a 5-game losing skid to get him back off the injured list. Really helped in that regard. 379 yards passing for him in Saskatchewan. 238 to Tyson Philpott.
His 2 wins this season against the Stamps and the Riders. So he has beaten good teams along the way. They'll start it here on the ground. Stevie Scott, who had a big week. Take a look at this Toronto D.
And take a look up front first with the Alouettes on offense, and their offensive line improved in the sacks allowed department in a big way. Only allowed 17 so far. They allowed 40 at this time last year, and there's Tyson. What a game. 238, 2 touchdowns.
Caught 9 targets thrown in his direction. 9 of 9. A near perfect game from the Philpott kid.
Dream game.
Bethel-Thompson in trouble, taken down from behind on the second down. Gets there, and it'll be a 2-and-out.
Parrish just nice speed rush off the edge on McCloster and gets home to get the first 2-and-out of this one. Good start on defense for the Argos.
4th sack of the season for Parrish. Joseph Zima, 48.3 per punt this year. We'll have to let it fly early. Low driving kick. Grant waits and takes it just inside the 20. 55-yard kick. Janarian Grant looking for some space. Cuts it back, goes up the middle, and takes it out to about the 40.
Excellent field position for the first start of the 25 season for Jared Daggy. You mentioned he cleaned things up against Edmonton last week when Arbuckle went down. Together a nice drive that was important in that win. Walk-off field goal for the Argos to finish that one. And I think I can say it that Jared Daggy is as fiery as his head coach was at the end of that game.
They were both very much into celebrating the walk-off victory, no doubt about it. Daggy was 3 of 6 on that final drive of the game. He'll toss it ahead to Mittal. He's wrapped up by Najee Murray. Let's take a look at the Toronto offense.
Well, take a look at their 2 tackles. Brandon Kemp on one side, Ryan Hunter on the other. Third start for Hunter coming off the injured list. They're going to go up against Isaac Adiemi Berglund, who's got 8 sacks in the campaign. More on him as the game goes on. And the receiving core, how about Jake Herslow, who has found the end zone? He's got a nose for the end zone.
You think?
Last 3 games, 2 touchdowns per game.
He's got touchdowns in 5 straight, 8 over that stretch. Best in the league over the last 2 months, no doubt. Here's Daggy, a ton of time. Now he's going to take off, tries to lunge ahead, and that should be enough for Toronto first down.
Mentioned that 1 start for Jared Daggy back when he was a member of the Edmonton Elks against Ottawa. Didn't get the win in that game, went 19 of 33. 223, got into some interception issues in that one, had 3 picks and just the 1 touchdown, but nothing like getting that first down in your first start to get things going.
Got to help you settle in a little bit. They will work from their own 50 here. Daggy's got 3 options out to the short side right, hands it off to Spencer Brown. Let's take a look at this. There's a flag on the play. See which way this one is going to go. It's going to be a hold against Toronto, I believe.
Well, when you take a look at the standings right now.
Holding Toronto number 58. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
This game and most of them coming up have playoff implications. No question. 5-win team, the Argos and Ryan Dinwiddie's squad, 5-8. That's 3rd in the division. And Montreal sitting at 6-7 in second place in the division.
Well, Montreal already has the tiebreaker between these two clubs. So Toronto desperately needs this one to try to keep pace with, eventually finish ahead of Montreal. Flags here. Daggy down the field. That was up for grabs. A little bit too high for Brissett. Covered there by Murray. Looked like some early movement on that defensive line.
Yeah, unless he was drawn.
Defensive offside. Montreal number 9. 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay second down.
Jeffrey Canton Arcu, the guilty party.
That stand-up position just inside. A lot of different looks up front defensively for Noel Thorpe's group. Seen it many times. He just jumped in that neutral zone.
So very manageable 2nd and 5. Smack dab at midfield here for Daggy. They'll go 5 wide. Brown stands into his right to help protect. Daggy gets it away. First down marker will be enough. And he goes to Herslow for the first time tonight.
Well, you know, when you got a young quarterback, and you heard the panel talk about it, do they get the run game going? We talked to Dinwiddie about that. But your receivers want to be crisp and precise. And make sure when they get a chance, make those catches, get some confidence built in Jarrett Daggy so that he feels comfortable. Pretty good throw, though, just to get this drive going.
Daggy has completed his first 2 attempts of the ball game. They work from the Montreal 47. Alouettes send 5. Daggy on the run to his right, throws on the run, finds a man. It's Ungerer. Ungerer broke 1 tackle, and he'll be forced out of bounds by Dequoy at the 30-yard line.
Really like the call here from Ryan Dinwiddie, too, because it moves the launch point for Jarrett Daggy. Little play action here. He can bootleg out of there and not just be standing straight in the pocket. Little underneath play action. Now he's going over full roll to the right, and Ungerer makes one guy miss. Nice first down.
17 yards to Ungerer. Daggy's found 3 different receivers on this opening drive for Toronto. Dequoy moves down from that safety spot, and they will send him. Daggy backpedals, pressure coming in his face, down the field towards the end zone. Incomplete. There's a flag on the play back at the 40. He was trying to find Brissett, who was working against Najee Murray.
Well, this is early recognition from Jarrett Daggy to realize
holding Toronto number 52. 10-yard penalty. We'll replay first down.
To realize that the safety blitz was coming. You mentioned Marc-Antoine Dequoy coming down to the line of scrimmage. He was on the line of scrimmage and went on the blitz, but Daggy knew he had it blocked up. He had his tailback step out, take the safety blitz, so he knew he could stand in that pocket and throw the deep ball, and didn't connect on it, but excellent recognition for Jarrett Daggy to see that he had that protected.
And he went down the middle of the field where Dequoy would have come from as well, had Murray, a linebacker, working one-on-one there against Brissett. Now they'll just dump it off. Mittal pushes it ahead. That's a hard 15 yards against this Montreal defense.
Isaac Ediemi Berglund up front. We talked about, we'll see the matchup between he and Kemp and Hunter. The 2 tackles for the Argos on the offensive line. 8 sacks on the season. That's tied with Matthew Betts. Tyrese Beverette had 10 tackles versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That led the team. And the 2 corners, excellent games out in Saskatchewan. Lorenzo Burns, I thought he had 4 or 5 knockdowns. Turns out in the stats it was only 2, but it looked like the way he was playing it was 4 or 5.
We did that game. He was all over the place in this secondary. Now some pressure. Daggy got rid of it. Najee Murray with the hit on Mittal right at the 20. That is close to a first down.
Yeah, see, this time Daggy recognizes again he's going to have the blitz coming from the second level here, but it's not blocked, so he's got to throw a hot route quickly. He can't stand in there and throw a deep route now because he's got a blitzer and Wesley Sutton coming off the edge from the secondary. Recognizes that, knows he's got to throw hot.
3rd catch of the game for Mittal. He's got 26 yards early. They do get the first down, and the Argos march on. Right on the edge of the red zone. 3 to the left, 2 to the right for Daggy. Looks to the left, throws over there. They'll try to set up some blockers. And bouncing off of a couple of tackles was Herslow. And it'll be second down.
Asked Ryan Dinwiddie about, is it more emphasis? Do you need to really lean on the run game when you have young Jared Daggy in his second start in the CFL playing quarterback? And he said, yeah, not really.
I don't think they lean on the run game in Toronto, do they?
They don't at all. He basically told us, yeah, no, not really. I don't want to be in second and long, and I don't want him in second and long if the run game isn't going. So we'll throw it on first.
Throwing here at 2nd and 9. Daggy 6 for 6. He's going to dump it off to his running back. Ends up. Tackle made. Lorenzo Burns sniffed that one out. Was all over it. And it will be a field goal attempt after a pretty good drive for Daggy to start this game.
Oh, excellent drive. Play calling, a lot of variety in it. Moved the pocket a little bit. Got him outside on the roll. Used his legs on one play early in the drive. A little late on that throw to the flat, but we'll put the field goal team out there. And I would say, yeah, very successful in your second start. Move down and get into field goal range.
Aralahu, a walk-off winner last week. This one, 25 yards just inside the left hash. And that is up to the little close, but he sneaks it inside the upright. And Toronto goes on top by a score of 3-0 here at home. MBT, monster week last week to pick up a very important win and snap a 5-game slide for his Alouettes. McLeod Bethel-Thompson snapping the longest losing streak that the Alouettes had since 2018 with a big performance last week.
20 of 26. And Tyson Philpott told us this week that on their first RPO, run play option play, he actually handed it off, but the way the Riders played that defensively gave them the cue that that was going to be a matchup they wanted to go and try and exploit, and boy did they ever.
Yeah, Philpott, just a monster game, 238 yards. Second most in franchise history. Justin McInnes had 243 for the BC Lions, another Canadian receiver, just last year. Let's take a look at this Toronto defense.
Andrew Chatfield up front, 7 quarterback sacks so far in the season. That leads his team. Got his first career TD with a scoop and score against Edmonton. And when the games become more important, playoff implications, your leaders step up, and that is certainly the case with Wynton McManus. 6 tackles against Edmonton and a sack. And Ryan Dinwiddie tells us the most consistent defensive back they have back there this year is Tavares McFadden, who moves in at halfback. He leads the team in interceptions.
He's got 4 of them, 6 knockdowns as well. MBT under pressure, batted away and taken away by McManus. He'll be tracked down by Philpott, but McManus steps up, finds that ball in the air, and he's got his second interception of the season. A rough start for McLeod Bethel-Thompson, sacked earlier. This is deflected by Lanier into the hands of McInnes, and the Argos in business again.
Little stunt up front by the Argos right here. Whit McManus and Lanier. The stunt on the 5-man pressure, and actually Jamar McCloster, the right tackle for Montreal, plays it pretty well. He drops his man, picks up McManus, but the big arm and hand up in the air from Lanier knocks the ball into the hands of McManus, who was pushed past the pocket and happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Toronto's 3rd in the league with 68 points off turnovers so far this season. This Montreal defense was just out on the field for 7 minutes, and now right back out after the turnover. Daggy bouncing around the pocket. Now he's going to try to take off, and it is Oakman who's there to trip him up.
Yeah, sudden change for Montreal. They're trying to just hold the Argos to a field goal attempt here. Having to get that touchdown, you get that major, that's the momentum grabber in a big way. But it's a little stunt between middle linebacker and defensive tackle. Works out well for the Argos.
5th sack of the season for Oakman. And it'll be 2nd and long for Daggy. He's 7 of 7 so far for 53 yards. He'll have 4 options out to his right. Running back goes out to his left. He's going to look to the end zone, lays one out there. And incomplete. Why not throw it in the direction of Herslow? He's working against Lorenzo Burns, and he couldn't find it that time.
Well, Lorenzo Burns putting together a nice campaign here in 2025. Look at him just calmly takes the inside move, sits on his back pedal, and then is right there making it. Has to be almost a perfect throw and catch because he was right on the upfield shoulder of Herslow.
Araujo back to work, made from 25 earlier in the game.
That's a win for Montreal.
This will be from 30, also just inside that left hash. This time right down the middle. Araujo 6, Montreal nothing. In the early going, Herslow 8 touchdowns in his last 5 games. Burns had him locked down that time. As far as the standings go in the East, a huge game between these two clubs. For more on the mindset of both teams, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, now we're at a point in the season, Dustin, when motivation oftentimes holds up battered football rosters. You could see it last week, and I was here in Toronto, when Ryan Dinwiddie and Jared Dagey ran right across the field to Edmonton sidelines. It really showed their emotions as the Argos walked it off. And, of course, we've seen the Alouettes in a 5-game losing streak, and Isaac Adiemi-Berglund told us this week that sometimes you have to have a narrative in your own head, but coming into this week, both Ryan Dinwiddie and Jason Moss, even though this rivalry is pretty intense, have been talking about just keeping a level. The one thing Ryan Dinwiddie has said over this 3-game winning streak, this team loves coming to work. And the one thing that Jason Moss has said over the course of that 5-game losing streak, we're completely focused and on the sidelines right now, as opposed to last week here in Toronto. Calm, cool, and collected, guys.
Thank you, Matt. I have to say, I love your glasses, by the way. Hey, you see Shinetti's glasses? Oh, they're sharp-looking lenses right there. 2nd and 10. MBT almost threw another pick there. This time he's got a man who's wide open. It's his running back who really broke out last week. And look at that. He powers ahead, working against Benji Franklin, and he's got a first down or close to it. Very close. This will depend on the spot.
Yeah, 100-yard game for him against Saskatchewan, 125 as a matter of fact. Yeah, interesting what Matthew talked about with these two coaches and understanding the playoff implications of this game, and with Jason Moss coming off the 5-game losing skid. And he said throughout that 5 games, the locker room was strong. They believed in each other. There was a lot of chatter. He said, don't focus on the loss, focus on the work. And they got right back to work and put it together against Saskatchewan.
Hand it off again. Nowhere to go this time. The middle was jammed up. Chatfield and Dozier worked together. A little help from Parrish. And they contained Stevie Scott on that one. His 100-yard game last week was the first by a Montreal running back all season.
Yeah, really did get things going. And I was talking to Coach Moss about the matchup. The Riders secondary and Tyson Philpott. He said, you know, the corners in the secondary had nothing to do with stopping our run game. Our run game was pretty solid.
2nd and 11 from McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Deep drop. A little bit of pressure on the run. To his right, looking down the field. Heaves one over there. Philpott in the area, but that one was just to avoid the sack. 3 Argos right there in the face of MBT.
Ryan Dinwiddie will start. He goes with his conventional 40 defense with 4 down linemen, but he will dress 8, get him in that rotation. A lot of teams doing that now, making sure they have lots of fresh legs on the D-line.
Zemo back to work here for the visitors. Ungerer and Janarian Grant in the distance, waiting for this kick. Toronto's defense looking pretty good in the early going of this one. That'll hang up there. Grant takes it at about the 7. Pressure right in his face. And he picks his way back out to about the 25-yard line. Janarian Grant contained. Daggy will have the ball with a 6-0 lead when we return to BMO. He could take it. Casper Wright is popping him there, and he's actually in attendance. He is down on the sidelines. I don't know how familiar he is with the sidelines, but let's send it down. Jeff O'Neill with Luke Wilson.
those ones, man. Yeah, I thought it was only the giving.
Hey, you know what, though? I will say, you mentioned physicality. The opening kickoff, I didn't even catch him out. Odog said, damn, that was a great hit right there, and you got to respect it. Because, I mean, Parksy, what is it like when you come out and you lay a hit, we're going to see here in a sec, to start this game out right on the bottom of your screen? How's it like in a hockey game, first shift, you get a big hit like that?
I think it just sends a message, Luke. You know that better than anybody, that you're just ready to play. If you're just sitting around waiting for skill plays, it's usually a dangerous game to play. So physicality, you always talk about it. Line of scrimmage, physicality wins games. That's why it's so important.
I love it. I love it. I'm telling you right now, the more physical team's going to win this one tonight.
More physical teams going to take this one tonight, especially in a bitter rivalry like this. I would think things probably get cranked up a bit here, don't they, Luke?
Definitely. And again, I mentioned this in the pregame hit, but the whole Ontario-Quebec thing also adds another level. So you got the playoffs on the line Friday night in Toronto. It's there's a little testy on the sideline behind us right now.
Beautiful. No handshakes at the coin flip.
Yeah, the coin flip, they didn't handshake, no pats on the shoulders, nothing. It was just head to your benches. And I love that Jeff mentioned that the special teams physicality can set the tone, because it really can. I mean, your special teams, a lot of backup players playing those special teams, but if they're flying around, it really jacks up the entire squad.
Daggy will have 4 out to his left. Pressure comes from his left. Can he get away? He escapes, backpedals down the field, almost intercepted. A little bit too high for Kabianento, who actually leads this team with 4 INTs.
Yeah, I highlighted the 2 corners in the intros. Lorenzo Burns with a big game. He leads the team in knockdowns. And Kabianento, who you just mentioned, leads the team in interceptions and almost had his 5th. Cut underneath that. 2 receivers in the same area. Not ideal.
John Haggerty averaging over 51 yards per punt. Called into duty for the first time tonight. Hangs this one way up there. Letcher will take it just inside the 25. Tripped up, pushes ahead, and then gets finished off by Hansen. Letcher, a little bit slow to get up, looks to be okay. McLeod Bethel-Thompson has started this game 1 of 4 for just 10 yards and an interception.
Well, and in fairness to Jason Moss in the play calling department, they have tried to incorporate Stevie Scott, who had 1 play that looked pretty good, but had been stopped on his other carries, putting McLeod Bethel-Thompson the second long. So you've got to give them credit when they're calling the run plays, and if they don't work, look for the quick screens, the extension of the run.
Stevie Scott averaged 6.6 yards per carry last week. MBT fakes the handoff, wide open on the far side of the field. It's Philpott, midfield inside the 50, and eventually taken down by Tavares McFadden. Biggest play of the ball game, undoubtedly, for the Montreal Alouettes. 34 yards as they get Philpott going on Friday Night Football. Welcome back to BMO in Toronto on a beautiful Friday night. It's the Argos with the lead as we get set for second quarter action. We had Odog down on the sidelines a little bit earlier. Now the guy who really runs the show on Overdrive, they call you Hazy B, up in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's great to be here. What a start. We had Wynn McManus on the show today.
Yeah.
Interception to start the party here. Couldn't ask for anything better.
And you had Ryan Dinwiddie as well, head coach for the Argos. And Brian, I was going to ask you about the end of last game and last week. I was excited about it. I thought, hey, you know what? We don't see it enough maybe in pro sports when they show their emotion.
I love it, man. I love Dinwiddie. Listen, it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for him, the Argos. He's used to winning and winning a lot. He's got to bring a lot to the table, right? They might be short on talent in certain areas because of injuries, and I love the way he coaches.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson, deep shot, far side. McFadden steps in. Did he take it away? MBT has already thrown 1 interception in this ball game. A conversation amongst the officials. McFadden has had a sensational year.
Now, in fairness to McLeod Bethel-Thompson, after last week's game with Tyson Philpott. He just probably showed
the previous play was under review, but a replay center.
He just thought I could just throw it up to Tyson. He'll come down with it, but I think that right foot got down.
The right foot was down before the left one came down out of bounds, wasn't it?
So, got the catch there, right foot down. I think he's in.
I like it.
That's an interception,
I
Brian.
think so. I'm willing to call it. They want to come upstairs. I'll say confirmed right now.
So I got to ask you with the group, because I was watching the show all game long, or all before the game started tonight, and when you guys go out, who picks up the tab?
Here's the truth. It used to be Jeff O'Neill.
Okay.
And then he had shoulder surgery. Now he's got the alligator arms. He brings nothing to the table. Nothing. Noodles is very, very philanthropic. He's a Westerner.
Yeah, okay,
right?
come on now.
You know Noodles. I got to be honest. I'm trying to catch up to these guys. They played in the NHL. They got a lot more money than I do. So I'm not quite at their level, but I'm chipping away year after year.
Let's find out.
Upon review by the replay center, the Toronto player intercepted the ball in the field of play. It will be Toronto's ball at the 10-yard line.
They called it.
They called it.
There you go.
Job.
1 for 1.
Who's the practical joker in the group?
Probably the O-Dog.
Yeah.
You know, when he's in the mood. The thing is, he's willing to give it, but he doesn't take it that way. Right?
Those guys are tough to work with.
They're very difficult to work with, and that's the way it works with us.
Daggy's going to start here. They're going to try to get the run game going. They don't really do that in Toronto, just 55 yards a game, but they'll hand it off there.
So, Brian, you had Keith Pelly on the panel today, and I thought it was a great conversation about the partnership now with the Buffalo Bills and the Argos. You know, I think there can be a real upside, but you asked some good questions about the position of Argo fans.
Yeah, and I think, listen, the Argo fans have been here before Leaf fans were here, before Blue Jay fans were here, before Raptor fans were here. Their history is well stated. We all know it.
Yeah.
And they're so passionate Argo fans. And I think, you know, unfortunately, if you're an Argo fan, you realize the Leafs get a lot of oxygen, the Raptors, the Blue Jays. You don't want a team from Buffalo taking up more oxygen when you're already competing within your own market.
There's some pressure, and Daggy is taken down. And no surprise, Adeyemi Bergwijn, that'll be his league-leading 9th sack of the season.
Yeah, tied with Matthew Betts coming into the season, or into this game, I should say, and little inside move, gets home, number 9.
You know what I want to quickly ask you? You've been broadcasting for a long time. Were you in a booth along the way, or was it mostly show hosting?
It's always been show hosting.
Really?
I don't think I could do what you do.
I was going to say, would you want to be in the booth?
What you guys do is so incredible. The amount of information you have to have, how quickly it's pacing. I'd be jamming up names. I'd be overthinking things. I don't think I could pull it off.
Hey, we do jam up names sometimes. Nobody's perfect. This will be bouncing towards Letcher. Does manage to take it cleanly at midfield. 48-yard kick. Look at that burst. They will track him down and take him down.
Brian, the show is great. It was a great discussion with your guys on the panel, and thanks for coming with us.
I can't thank you guys enough for having me up here. Truly a highlight, and you guys are the best. Enjoy the rest of the night.
There's the third member of the Overdrive crew, Amy McLennan, Noodles, former National Hockey Leaguer, heck of a hockey analyst as well, here with his family tonight.
I asked him a question that you want to avoid.
Just a second. MBT under pressure and taken down. Lanier in the Argos defense.
Yeah.
Man, are they stifling this evening.
Stepping up big time. Lanier's got a sack now and a knockdown that led to an interception by Winton McManus. And he's making it difficult for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Just beats his man on the outside and doesn't allow Bethel-Thompson to escape. No, but I asked him, is McDavid signing in Edmonton or what? He was as hesitant as you were to talk about it.
I mean, this is a CFL broadcast suit, so I don't think we need to worry about Connor McDavid right now.
Okay, we'll move on.
As an Edmonton guy, I've had enough. MBT down the field. Look at this. Oh, no. Oh, Rambo stumbles and couldn't hang on.
Well, he had him deep. He had him and just missed him. I think the throw took Rambo out of bounds. He's trying to adjust to it, but yeah, that throw took him right out of bounds. Boy, if they can get Rambo going, They have targeted him on plays over 20 yards 15 times and only completed 3 of them. And Rambo is a deep threat if they can get him going.
He also doesn't have a touchdown yet this season. Austin Mack also doesn't have a touchdown this year. Mack missed some time, but still you like to get those 2 guys going. Low snap, but Zima went and got it, kicks it away. Janarian Grant at the 10, 42-yard kick. Short return on the near sideline. Argos on a beautiful Friday night with the lead at home. Well, let's flash it back to week 4, 2023. Nagy's first and only other CFL start through 3 interceptions against Ottawa. For more on him, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Now, I spoke, Justin, to Jared Dagey before that start in Ottawa. He had all the confidence of a young American quarterback coming to the CFL, looking at the longer, wider field and thinking he can just carve it up. And as you mentioned, 3 picks, and then he was benched later in the game. And as he spoke to us yesterday, it's the renewed perspective that he has on the field, because he said watching Taylor Cornelius and watching Trey Ford and even McLeod Bethel-Thompson last year helped him have a renewed perspective on just the size and the depth and the extra defender of a CFL game. And he said last week that getting an early and very easy completion in that touchdown and that field goal drive to end the game really helped him kind of process the game a little bit more. And he said particularly about McLeod Bethel-Thompson, knowing that Jared Dagey could be starting for the Argos the next few weeks, he did note that MBT showed him what preparation and leadership really looked like, guys.
Well, he didn't get much help there from Polk. That one right through the hands of Mackay Polk, and now 3 incompletions for Dagey in a row. A couple pretty talented guys watching on there, though.
No question. 3rd game back for Mackay Polk.
He's led the team in targets and catches since his return. Now they'll go over the middle. Be tall. 4th catch of the game. Sankey and Beverett right there. And it will once again be Toronto having to punt this ball away as Big John Haggerty trots onto the field.
We'll say this about Jared Dagey. You go back to last week in that 3 of 6 and the setting up the walk-off game-winning field goal. He was as fired up as Dinwiddie. And I mean, we're talking the trash talking apparently that was going on that started in the warm-up of that game against the Elks. They kept their composure and didn't really react throughout the entire game, and then at the end with that walk-off, Dagey was fired up.
Letcher will watch it bounce, and eventually he'll grab it. Near sideline, 49-yard kick. We were talking about Dagey and going against his former club last week. Came into the game, got the win, and he and his coach letting the Elks know about it.
Yeah, pretty fired up. And we asked.
He's doing, you cut me? You cut me? You cut me? Yeah.
Yeah, we asked Coach Dinwiddie about it. He said, after the game, he went in and actually apologized to the team. But I think Brian mentioned it. I've talked about it all week long. It's okay to show your emotions sometimes.
MBT hit as he throws. Finds Philpott, who tries to cut it back through 2 defenders. Picks up some extra yards. Willie Drew making the tackle. McLeod Bethel-Thompson taking some punishment on that pass.
Pressure coming in different forms on McLeod Bethel-Thompson in this game. I mean, even when he's completing a pass, he's paying the price for it. Those hits add up as the game goes on. And good job of Brandon Dozier finding the target area.
Ray Patterson into the game on the 2nd and short. He had 2 touchdowns last week against his former club in the Riders, and what was a pretty impressive victory for Montreal, silencing a big crowd in Mosaic.
Yeah, I thought the Alouettes defensively got their footing again. It just seemed with the changing that was going on in quarterback that they couldn't really control. Anyway, Coach Moss said, it felt like the defense really set the tone in that Saskatchewan game, and then the McLeod Bethel-Thompson to Philpott. worked pretty well.
This time it will be Scott pushing ahead. That is his best carry of the ball game, and he just really sort of announced himself last week, didn't he?
Yeah, when he got his opportunity, Sean Thomas Erlington out of the lineup, had a chance to, when Travis Tice went down, get the entire game. And asking Coach Moss about him, sort of his arrival, he said, we always knew he's been a great player. It's just a matter of waiting his turn. Because the guys ahead of him had earned the job.
Got his turn last week, made the most of it. Now they'll go back to Philpott. And this is very close to a first down. We'll see where this ball is placed. Team high third catch of the game for Philpott. They're going to take a closer look at this. They're going to call for a measurement.
Forward progress. Although Cam Judge was there immediately. That's one of those trades that worked for both teams. Flo Rimolane to Calgary for Cam Judge. Now, Flo's hurt. We hope he makes a speedy return, but boy, that's been a great trade for both teams. Sometimes it works out that way.
Sometimes when you trade great players for great players, it just works out over both sides.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised by it, but...
Took care of business moments ago, back in to attempt to do it again from the Toronto 44. Can the Argos find a way to make a stop here? Patterson, initial push, should be enough.
But speaking of Stevie Scott and waiting his turn in Montreal, 4 different NFL stops, a couple stops in the USFL, 1 stop in the XFL. Trying to get that opportunity. And a couple of young guys, both teams, Jared Daggy for the Argos, Stevie Scott, are going to take full advantage of this opportunity when they're actually on the field. I liked his patience last week.
Yeah, for a big guy, and then you mix in the patience that he had in the first when he found a hole. Looked like the full package. Now they'll get it out to Philpott, turns it upfield. And he eventually is tripped up by D'Arcangelo. But MBT not hesitating to go back. Philpott's been targeted 6 times in this game. The rest of the team, just 4 times total.
And only once deep, and that deep one was intercepted by McFadden. So those pitch and catch deep balls, maybe they've changed it up now and got Philpott on some of the swing screens.
This will be a 2nd and 4. Philpott again. Heavy collision, bounces off of it, trying to push ahead. And he's got his 5th catch of the game. The Argos are going to argue the spot.
This is what Jeff was talking about. A little bit of physicality, not on the teams this time, but it's good football play. Philpott keeping his feet, trying to keep fighting for more, but
ran into Sluka here, didn't he?
Sluka, Judge get involved. No, Sluka was the leader in that one with McFadden.
Got the first down, drive marches on. Now they'll get it out to Snead. First time today for him, makes a move, cuts it back, takes it down inside the 30, and then is hammered from behind at the 25.
So the Argos come out, they put a ton of pressure on McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Even in his completions, he was getting hit pretty good. So Jason Moss goes, okay, we got to relieve some of that pressure by getting either Tyson Philpott, doesn't matter who really, could be the back, could be Stevie Scott, little play action, get it out of his hands quickly. Let's allow our quarterback to settle in, even with these quick throws, and we'll let the receivers or running backs do the rest of the work.
9th play of the drive for Montreal, their best of the game. Back to Scott. Picks his way through the defense, and he's got a first down, and the Alouettes are inside the red zone for the first time tonight.
And he wants to keep eating. That's what he just signaled to Coach Moss. He just looked over there and did that signal. I just want to keep eating, keep going. That's a little example of his patience. Just picking his blocks, a couple of jump cuts. Nice run.
Montreal 53% inside the red zone this season, 17 of 32 they finished off. MBT rolls to his right, decides to go to Philpott. Throw is low and incomplete.
Just rushed that. That play was designed, you could tell, which is why I circled Philpott, that he was put on the single side by himself so they could isolate him. They take the back out of the back, put Philpott here in that little push to the flat, see if you can get him in space. And had he made that catch, he only had Benji Franklin to beat in the open field.
Second and 10. Alouettes trying to not have this drive. Stall out. Pump fake from MBT. Now he gets it away. Finds Rambo towards the end zone, and he walks in. First of the season for Charleston Rambo. And the Montreal Alouettes are on the board.
Clearly Rambo heard you, and he said enough is enough. I got to get a touchdown. I got to get one on the board. Again, if somehow they can get Rambo going here, and this may be just the key play to do it. Little crossing route. Extra second for McLeod Bethel-Thompson in the pocket. And Rambo finds the end zone for the first time this year.
A drive that Montreal had to have. Nothing going offensively in this one up until that. Maltos Diaz for an Alouettes lead on the road here. And he smooths it through the uprights. It was an 11-play, 64-yard drive that took over 6.5 minutes. And for the first time this year, Rambo finds the end zone.
Coming up at the half, we're going to give a lot of love to this Argos D, but all of a sudden, Montreal right there. And I don't know if anyone's heard, but for the first time this season, it's the Stamps, it's the Lions. Ooh, the storylines. We'll break it all down. They might say something, maybe not.
That's going to be a great matchup. Vernon Adams versus Nathan Rourke. And what a drive by the Alouettes, capped off by Charleston Rambo.
Grant watches this one, hung up there for a while. Comes down to him just outside the 20. And he is forced out of bounds at about the 30. Let's take another look at that touchdown drive.
Yeah, so I love the chess match that's going on between Jason Moss and Jason Shivers, the defensive coordinator for the Argos. They get pressure in the first quarter, so Moss starts calling little check down, swings to the receivers, to Philpott, gets his back involved, and gets the ball out of his hands quicker. And then in the touchdown throw, it's 11 plays, 64 yards. That touchdown throw to Rambo, which for him really is first blood.
Yeah.
Finishes it off.
Shivers prepping for his next look at MBT.
Well, now the chess match shifts.
Get it out to Mital, who's been Daggie's favorite target. Dequoy all over him.
Because now when the Owls have the ball again, and if Moss is going to go with that swing stuff and the backfield throws to get the ball out of the hands of McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Now, what does Shivers do there now? Is he going to go to sort of more of a man look? So if Tyson Philpott is in that swing, they have a man that goes and just jumps on him immediately. Takes away that option. So we'll see.
2.5 to play. Second quarter, Daggy, pressure coming, gets it away. Coming back to the ball and grabbing it his first low. And he'll be forced out of bounds by Canton Arku, but it's a first down, Argos. 21 yards to Herslow.
It's like Ryan Dinwiddie wants to get him in a bit of a hurry-up look here. Tempo. Called a plays on the line of scrimmage.
Alouettes just send 3 this time. Daggy gets it away quickly. Back to Mittal. And Sankey will haul him down after a pretty decent pickup on first down.
Asked Ryan Dinwiddie about Mittal. Said he's been battling a leg injury a little bit throughout the season and that we are just scratching the surface. That he is still perfecting the route tree, which is, well, I can get into that as the game goes on, but the tree is all the different route options. Mittal is good and real good at some and still learning others.
7 yards on that last play. Daggy looks to his left. Quick hitter. Finds Herslow again. Makes a move. And gets it down to the 40. Nice response here from the Argos. Daggy to Herslow.
Now he certainly doesn't look like the moment's too big for him in this very important Eastern matchup. Had a couple series where he's bogged down with pressure, and now he's come back after the score by Rambo to put together a nice drive. 4-goal range.
4th catch of the game for Herslow, so he's getting him involved heavily here in the early going. Spencer Brown stands in to the left. They'll hand it off to him. Najee Murray wraps him up for a loss of at least 4, if not 5.
Najee Murray has played in about 3 different spots for this Alouette team. He's been back in the secondary in a couple of different positions. He's moved up to that nickel spot or cover linebacker. And Sam meaning strong side.
That's his 2nd tackle for a loss this season. And a 2nd and long for Daggy, even making maybe a field goal a little bit more comfortable. They'll dump it off. Mittal bobbles it. And this will be a deep one.
Now from Noel Thorpe, the defensive coordinator for the Alouettes point of view, he's rushing 2 and 3 in those 2nd down situations and dropping everyone else, forcing Jared Daggy to be accurate, find his spots. That was just a flat drop, but interesting chess match between these coordinators going on tonight.
Araulahu hit from 56 earlier this year. This one from 52, just inside the right hash. That one is up, and he misses it. Letcher will bring it out. Can he find a little bit of room? Back to the 15, and no further. Araulahu 90% on the year, but he misses from 52. Been a bit of a tough night so far for McLeod Bethel Thompson. For more, let's go back down to Luke Wilson.
Dustin, one of the things, and I've said this before, if I'm McLeod Bethel Thompson right now, I want to manage this game. And I know game managers are considered a bad thing for quarterbacks, but I am the opposite of that. And we're going to look at these 2 turnovers here. It's a 4-man rush from Toronto here. That's it. Your O-line gets beat. We try and make a play that's just not there. It leads to a turnover, leads to points. Later on, it's a 4-man rush. They drop 8 guys. It's very, very difficult to throw here. Nobody's open. I get that, but we force one in, and it's another turnover. Again, manage this football game. You're facing a 3rd-string quarterback.
And when you have your defense playing the way that you are as well, you don't really need to do anything special, do you, Luke?
No, not at all. And that's where, again, I love when QBs come out here, understand the feel of the game. It's been a defensive grind. Come out here, again, right now we want to score and with the ball. We don't want to give the ball back. Manage this football game, get a win on the road.
Win on the road would be huge and put yourself in a great spot.
Yeah.
When you're racing in the standings with the Argos.
And to Luke's point, I think that's probably why Jason Moss went to that quick game. I mean, you know, getting the little swing passes to Tyson Philpott.
2nd down here.
Like
goes
that.
Over the middle, and that is a 1st down. Sibusu gets involved that time.
You know, to eliminate some of those mistakes made early and try to manage the game, as you mentioned, and make it higher percentage throws just to get him settled.
The deep shots he was taking last week, the guys were wide open.
Yes.
Not the case right now against this Toronto defense. MBT over the middle again. Nice little one-hander from Stevie Scott. Bounces off of a McManus tackle, which is not easy to do, and is close to a first down. Might be marked just shy.
A little pump fake there. There was a couple of crossers. In fact, that's likely a mistake, but you're right. Just bounces off. Went McManus, who got him the second time.
He circled back around.
He circled back, yeah.
Going to finish that job. They're going to measure this one again. I mentioned earlier, though, Stevie Scott, 6'1", 220. Carrying a lot of weight for a running back, and he used it to his advantage that time. This one.
Yes, sure.
Just shy of picking up the first down. Just 21 seconds left on the clock. Jason Moss and his club snapping that 5-game losing streak last week. Still find themselves second in the East, having won 2 games against Toronto already. This would give them some significant breathing room. 2nd and inches on the Montreal 37. Toronto sends 4. MBT down the field, over the middle, intercepted again. Oh, how about that, Sluka? Sluka takes it away inside the 40, inside the 35. And I have to say, that's not managing the game, which is what Luke was just talking about.
No, this is the opposite of managing the game. What we just talked about here. But, yeah, I mean, first of all, 2nd and inches, you got a bit of a drive going. You got a first down on the last play. 2nd and inches, you got a chance to get a new set. Just 4-man pressure, a little stunt in the middle, but Chatfield gets a little bit of pressure on the outside, and there's the throw right into coverage. Sluka takes it back, his 2nd on the season.
2nd of the year for Sluka, as Suits mentioned, and right into field goal position. Basically free points for the Argos. Have Haralahu and knock this one home just outside 35. And that one snuck inside the uprights. And the Argos, thanks to an interception from Sluka at the end of the half, will lead 9-7, 3 interceptions in the first half for McLeod. Bethel Thompson just simply has to be better.
Well, he, as Luke mentioned, did not manage the first quarter. A couple turnovers there, and just tried to force one down the field on 2nd and inches. This is the first one. A tip at the line of scrimmage by Lanier went into the hands of McManus. That led to points, and then another one on a deep shot, trying to get it to Tyson Philpott, who, you know, at times can win that jump ball, but not that time. It was McFadden.
Antonetti standing by with Anthony Lanier.
You know, Anthony, I was thinking the amount of pressure that you've been able to put on in the interior has led to some turnovers, and it happened right there with that pick that Sluka got. Was that really the game plan going into this week?
No, it's everything been team effort. Play 1 week at a time and play together. That's been our biggest push. All us together. All us are being like family. Everybody's on the same accord, whether it be talking on our plays or talking on our movements and the things we have to do inside the play, making sure that all us on one accord and being together.
One thing also that Jason Shivers was telling us this week is 2 and outs are so important to this defense. How critical are they going to be in that second half?
It's always going to be critical. 2 and outs gets the offense back on the field, and the longer the time the offense has with the ball, the more points we can put up on the board.
Appreciate this.
Appreciate you.
Well, Kate, Argos up 2. We knew it would be a tight one.
Matthew back alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel. Enoch's loving his life right now because we've got ourselves a fine little defensive battle. And let's start with the Toronto Argonauts just setting the tone in this one. We'll talk about MBT up and down, and clearly not the way he wanted to end that half as well. But Milt, when that comes to the Argonauts defense, I mean, they're making a statement in this first half, and they ended that way as well.
And this is exactly what they needed to do. Coming to this game, you're talking about Jared Dagey. He's a third-team quarterback, let's be honest. So they couldn't expect him to have the same production as they were with Nick Arbuckle, who was putting up so many points. So this defense came in and said, hey, guys, we got to do a better job. We've been giving up 32 points a game. This year, we can't do that if we want to have an opportunity to win this game. And that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been creating turnovers, putting this offense in position to score points. Of course, they haven't been able to put it in the end zone yet offensively, but they're leading the league right now, and that's all you can ask for. Ryan Dinwiddie has to be happy with this situation. You didn't want to put your young quarterback in a position where he was going to have to go out there and score a bunch of points. Yes, he wanted to score some more, but the way this defense is playing, it's been a great job because now you can come out, you can be relaxed, you can still run the ball. Your quarterback doesn't have to throw the ball down the field every single time because of this defense. So if they can continue playing like this, maybe they don't even need Jared Dagey to come out and have a great game because they've been doing a great job so far this first half.
You touched on it. He doesn't have to come down and throw the ball downfield the whole night to win the game, but he has been coming out and taking some shots downfield. Now, look, it's not great, but it's not bad. He hasn't scored the touchdowns that you would have wanted to see, and he probably thought he would when he woke up in the morning, but he's taking the shot. I like the fact that he's been comfortable in the pocket. He's taking his time. He's got some poise. He's not out of place. Obviously, you want him to connect a little bit more and execute a little bit better, but you look at the plays that are being called right now, they're taking the shots because Dinwiddie has confidence in him. I would love to see a little bit more Kevin Mittal get involved in the little plays down the field. This is a guy that's going to actually help him and be an outlet for him and take a little bit more of the pressure. The defense is doing its job. Right. Kevin Mittal, I think, is a guy that's going to help Daggy going forward.
I mentioned MBT right off the hop, and Luke was speaking about him as well, too. And you watched last week's game, and you watched the highlights, and you're like, okay, he was at 379, 3 TDs. He looked unstoppable at times. And this one, he's got 110 so far, but he's already thrown those 3 picks. That's the first time, by the way, he has thrown 3 since November 2021. And ending a half like that, too, I mean, when it's already going bad, you thought you had a little momentum. You certainly don't want to backtrack, Chess.
Yeah, MBT's in the locker room right now trying to find where Saskatchewan's backup DBs were. He wants them out there, right? Hey, so bring those 2 guys back out there again. Now what? Come on, man. Anyway, so look, MBT, the difference, you guys said it, the defense has been playing well, and Milt, you alluded to Jared Dagey being a third-string quarterback. Macbeth should be the difference. Right now, he's taking sacks when they're in the field position. He missed this throw right here. You hear Charles Rambo, watch the interaction. Rambo, you hear him saying, I'm wide open. He says it to Davis Alexander. He says, I'm wide open. And Davis tells him, no, you gotta make that play. That's you. You gotta make that play. So I don't know who that was, but it sure looked like he threw out of bounds again. And then finally they didn't connect on this one. But the difference in this game, if 2 defenses are playing well, you got a third stringer against a guy that's accomplished like Macbeth. Macbeth has got to be a difference maker. He can't be making mistakes and missing easy throws.
Some backup cornerbacks.
Hey, I just looked at the box score.
To defend themselves, Chad.
Javon Campbell, tape yourself up. Get out there, buddy.
All right, we got ourselves a 2-point football game. Coming up after the break, we'll break down the big Western battle between the Lions and the Stampeders.
That's dirty, baby.
You went all along. We were liberated from the bullet song. And the world looks just the same. History ain't changed. 'Cause the banners, they are flown in the last war.
Game 2 of our doubleheader. It is Vernon Adams, the Calgary Stampeders, taking on Nathan Rourke, the BC Lions. By the way, you can see that game TSN 3 at 9:30 Eastern. Rourke has just been on a tear. 300 passing yards, 4 of his last 5 games, and also chasing a number of records, including Russ Jackson's single-season passing yards, which he might just hit tonight.
Yes.
VA downplayed the significance of this game. I'm not buying one word that he said. I know that he's had this circled on his calendar. It's the first time these 2 teams met. Obviously, the BC Lions chose Rourke. Rourke's been phenomenal, but you know VA wants this one, Mills.
I talked to VA's alter ego, Vinny, and he told me I'm trying to go out here and destroy these kids. They disrespected me. They let me go. They felt I wasn't good enough to be their starting quarterback. Now I'm in Calgary destroying it. I'm going to try to destroy him. But also, Nathan Rourke wants to show that they made the right decision. You know, he's been having a great year. As you mentioned, Kate, he has an opportunity to break some records tonight. So this is going to be a matchup like no other. But believe me, VA had this game circled right away, and he's looking to have a big game.
The way that season turned out after Nathan came back, they should have kept Vernon as the quarterback. There is no question about that. And that being said, they made the right decision by signing Nathan. I mean, they were in a no-win situation.
Right.
I mean, you have to get Nathan to come back. He's a franchise guy. Could be your guy for the next 10 years. But VA was playing excellent. That's just the way it is. Nothing's going to change, in my opinion, nothing's going to change the opinion of that in tonight's game. But we do have the two of the best teams in the West, two of the best quarterbacks in the MOP race going head-to-head, and they do care, who shows out. There's no question.
Yeah, and VA is the leader, the professional that he is. He's not going to come out and say it, but he definitely wants to win this game. He feels like he started something in BC and he never got to finish it. Sometimes you got to finish it elsewhere, and that's what he's planning to do with the Calgary Stampeders this year. But VA's last appearance before they had the bye week, he didn't play his best as well. No. He's going to have to show up tonight. This team has had a great defense and has showed up. He's going to have to throw about 6, 7 explosive plays tonight. I want to see the Moose loose. I want to see Barnes. I want to see some plays being made by VA. This is a big game for him.
And as we were talking to now, life without Flo Romalotti, I mean, that injury is so significant to that team, so we'll see how the Calgary Stampeders respond. Obviously, their last game before the bye, they lost to the Edmonton Elks at Commonwealth. Chance for a victory tonight against the BC Lions, the first meeting between the two, as mentioned. That'll start on TSN 3, but meanwhile on TSN 1 and 4, the conclusion of the Montreal Alouettes and the Toronto Argonauts. Argos currently up by 2, up back to BMO after this.
Defensive battle so far in Toronto. The Argos lead 9-7 over the Montreal Alouettes. Charleston Rambo with his first touchdown of the year, standing by with Matthew Shinetti.
I got to ask you, Charleston, were you gripping a little tighter, knowing that you wanted to get that first touchdown of the season, and take us through that touchdown?
We had a mesh play written up. I seen zone. I kept it going. So Ford found me, gave me a good ball, get upfield. But for sure, securing the ball. So, the ball is our friend. So we got to take care of him.
Also taking care of your quarterback is going to be a big deal in that first half, given the second half, given the pressure the Argos are putting him under. What was the message from Jason Moss to the offense at halftime?
Just finish. All we can do is finish right now. The second half, come out with a bang. Starting on defense, got to finish.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
I think he nailed it when he said the football is your friend. You got to take care of it.
That's an old saying in football. When you drop one, your teammate will walk right over and go, "The ball is your friend." Rambo. Nice job.
Altos Diaz will get us started. Second half is underway at BMO. This comes down to Janarian Grant contained for the most part so far tonight. That's a little bit of blocking and pushes it out beyond the 40. Take a look at the first half of Jared Daggy in just his second CFL start.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was that first drive went right down and got into field goal position for a field goal to start this game, and looked comfortable. Didn't look like the moment or the game is too big for him and too much. Was under the gun a little bit in the second quarter because of Montreal pressure, but a lot of quarterbacks have been in that situation.
Comes away from that half with a 2-point cushion. Fakes the handoff, throws. He'd want that one back. Yep. One hopper in the direction of Ungerer.
You saw the reaction immediately. Just looked like his footwork, the fundamentals of throwing on the run, just kind of fell apart there. Still shaking his head.
Yeah, he knows that.
Got to let that one go.
Ungerer had separated himself a little bit from the defender. A miss to start the half for Deggy. Let's see what he can do on a 2nd and 10. Mackay Polk will slide in behind him. Polk does not have a catch yet in this game. Deep drop for Deggy. Steps up, wants a deep shot, takes a deep shot down the field, incomplete. Dequoy working against Mital. trouble, and Dequoy wins that battle.
One of the things in the first half, in that first drive for Jarrett Daggy, was I thought his recognition for being in his second start was very good. That he wasn't throwing into coverage, that he knew when he had a blitz blocked and when he didn't. That time, safety Marc-Antoine Dequoy was back there the entire play. I mean, he was in the middle of the field ready to play the football, and he threw it into coverage.
5th knockdown of the year for Dequoy. Does not have an interception yet. High kick here, hangs up there, backs Letcher up a little bit. He'll have to take it just outside the 10. And he's wrapped up after a 55-yard kick. Dozier on the tackle. Well, a tough first half for McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
I'm with Kate in the panel when Kate said, you know, last week he was 20 of 26. 379 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. And then what happens? You know, and I heard Davis on the corner thing. That wasn't very nice. But anyway, tough first half. It was pressure in the first quarter from the Argos defense. A lot of pressure in the first quarter. That caused the problems. One knockdown that tipped to McManus.
It's actually pretty impressive that he threw 3 interceptions. They're only down 2. Yeah, I mean, look after the football, and this is still a winnable game. Starts it on the far side. Austin Mack. Not a bad idea. First catch, first target of the game for 81.
Yeah, no question winnable. And in fact, you know, Jason Moss could say, hey, last week when the Argos played Edmonton, they were a -5 and 1 in that game. So it does happen. Not very often you want to be on the wrong side of the giveaway takeaway, but it does happen, and the Argos did it last week.
15 yards to Mack. MBT on the run. Do not see that very often. Tackle made by Winton McManus, and that'll bring up a 2nd and long for the visitors.
Yeah, no surprise that Winton McManus is stepping up when the games become more important. Not that he wasn't early in the season. 50 defensive tackles for him, a couple interceptions now in the season. He had 6 and a quarterback sack versus Edmonton last week.
A 2nd and 9 for Bethel-Thompson. Argos send 5. MBT in trouble, has to throw it away. Ricky Correa causing all types of issues, busting through that offensive line.
This is the pressure that we talked about in the first quarter that was causing problems for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Lanier gets up and takes away the check down with his hands in the air.
Zima called into duty early in the second half. Denarian Grant waits just outside his own 20. Zima, he's due. Far side, finds it. Does Grant at the 30, 44-yard kick, returns it to the 40. Not that time, but I agree with you. He's due, and I like it when he takes off. MBT gobbled up by Ricky Correa. Tomorrow. So you have to use a wrestling voice, right? Nice. Yeah. All right. Daggy, 12 of 18, 96 yards. Works from his own 40. Takes a look down the field. He's in trouble, and he will be taken down. Held on to the ball. Staffa Johnson is there.
You know, with Jarrett Daggy, he's going to probably lock in a little bit more. He's got a go route down the sideline, or skinny post, I should say, and he's locked into this. He wants this. He's going to step up, stop it right here. This is the one he wants, and watch the double coverage that occurs as he steps up to try and let that one go. Nope. Can't get there. It's double.
First sack of the season for Johnson. Defensive battle at BMO here. Montreal sends 3. Daggy escapes. Now he's going to take off on the run. Finds himself in trouble. Nowhere to go. And he'll just bury his head with Ento watching on. And they will be forced to kick it away, 3rd and 11. And Toronto, so far in this football game, have had to settle for just 3 field goals offensively, 2 of them off of turnovers by the Montreal offense. Haggerty hangs it out there. Letcher will take it at the 30. Pushes it out beyond the 35, 42-yard kick. I think it's safe to say with his performance last year, Tyson Philpott, certainly an all-star in the Canadian Football League. Go for the Moose. Hey now. Tyson Philpott, 5 catches, 57 yards tonight, coming off a career high last week. He could not be stopped, could he?
No, he couldn't. And yes, there were rookie corners for Saskatchewan out there. Rafal Axume had a tough night against an all-star receiver who had the 2nd biggest night in Montreal Alouette history for a receiver. 238, 9 of 9.
2 touchdowns. MBT had time. Now he's in trouble, and he's going to be taken down from behind by Dozier.
So you're wondering if he's 2nd after 238, who was 1st? Well, 1st was Hal Patterson, and I'm not sure that record's going to fall.
I think 338 is safe.
That's a night.
I joked earlier before we were on the broadcast, I hope my grandpa had him started in fantasy that week specifically. 338.
Well, did you have Philpott last week?
I did.
That's a pretty good night.
I think I actually went against Philpott. 2nd and 12.
You got to call me on some of these.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson throws it low. Sibusu goes down to get it. It's incomplete. Wouldn't have accomplished anything with it anyway. And that'll be 3rd down. And Zima will have to kick it away again. Denarian Grant averaging 13.5 yards on punt return this year. Has 1 return touchdown, came on a kick return. And he stands in the distance as Zima gets set to boot it away again. And he'll try to drop it just inside the 30, and it bounces out of bounds. Let's talk about the 2025 class for the Canadian Football Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame game tomorrow. Edmonton will be in Hamilton. Brian Chu going into the Hall. Javon Olafoye going in. 6-time All-Star for the BC Lions. Scott Flagel, safety for Winnipeg. A lot of his big seasons with the Bombers. Jermaine Copeland. Lightning rod of enthusiasm, over 10,000 yards. Darryl Hall, who, when we talk tweener, really invented the position. We're going to talk to him tomorrow night in Hamilton. Congratulations to all our inductees, including in the builder category for Glenn Johnson, former official, head of officiating, and Frank McChrystal.
Should be an outstanding game tomorrow. Polk wanted the flag, got one in the secondary.
Flag came out late. Robert Kennedy is a little bit of an argument there, but it was a crossing dig route.
Defensive pass interference. Montreal number 31. Automatic 1st down.
Another guy who's played multiple positions for the Alouettes. Played that nickel spot. It's Mackay Polk on the crossing route. Boy, sometimes it's not much in the actual, trying to adjust the route or limit the route. But as soon as that jersey comes off the back,
you see the stretch.
The flag is out. I mean, that's the giveaway.
Now they'll hand it off to Spencer Brown, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and he's going to be marked for about a loss of 1.
Like it really might not even impede the receiver sometimes. But if the jersey comes away from the back of the receiver, it's an easy call for the officials, and that's going to be pass interference every time.
It wasn't a bad idea from Daggy to try to get Polk going. He does not have a catch yet in this game, and since he returned to the lineup here in Toronto after a stint down in Atlanta, he has led the team in catches and targets, but no catches so far in this one. Daggy, deep drop, still by being a little bit of trouble. Flag flies, Daggy on the run, and he'll be taken out by Beverett, but multiple flags, and this is a hold against the Argos.
Yeah, it'll be coming back. Couple flags there.
Holding Toronto number 58. That penalty is declined. It will be 3rd down.
Anthony Vandell was working on Isaac Adiemi-Berglund. And when Daggy escaped, play took too long and the holding occurred.
Midway through the 3rd quarter, the Argos have just 99 yards of offense so far in this one. Daggy's 12 of 18, and they essentially don't even attempt to run the ball. Haggerty lays this out there. Letcher will take it at the 20. 49-yard kick. Letcher finds a little bit of space, gets a block, pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line, as the Argos lead the Owls in a defensive battle in Toronto. Jason Shivers, the defensive coordinator for the Argos. It's a good night to be a defensive coordinator in this one. For more, let's send it down to Matt Shinetti.
Yeah, Justin, in the overall development of this Argos defense so far this season, the one thing that co-defensive coordinator Jason Shivers has talked about is the development of Andrew Chatfield, certainly the utility of someone like Cam Judge as a linebacker, and the leadership of Wynton McManus. But the Argos have given up a lot of yards, particularly on first down. They are last in the league at that, and they are also last in big plays. The one standard with this team is two and outs every single quarter. So far tonight they have 4, and certainly, yes, the interceptions have helped the turnover department. But as we get down to the nitty-gritty here tonight, watch those 2 and outs, because Shivers has said, I want those two and outs every single quarter to help Jared Daggy in the offense.
Reasonable target suits, two and outs a quarter?
Yeah, I mean, you get 2 a quarter, you get your offense a chance to get some drives together. There's the co-coordinators in Kevin Iben and Jason Shivers, and both working together. This is maybe one of the best games the Argo defense has played, certainly in the last month.
Bob Bethel-Thompson. Argos sent 4. Down the field for Mack. He lays out, did he haul it in? Austin Mack, a highlight reel reception on the near sideline.
Yeah, this can change it and get your confidence back in a hurry for your offense. Cloud Bethel-Thompson, who's under a lot of pressure in this one, in this game so far tonight. He throws the corner route into coverage, well covered, can't cover it any better than McFadden did there. But he trusted Mack to go get it and win the battle, and he does.
29 yards into the waiting hands of Austin Mack. Now they'll take the handoff to Scott. MBT rolls to his left, dumps it off. Waiting for it over there was Philpott. Went down to one knee to get it. Dozier's there to make the tackle. Dozier's been everywhere tonight. And it'll be 2nd down and short for the Alouettes.
Boy, it bodes well that Austin Mack's involved. Saw Rambo with that first half touchdown. I won't say they're having off years, but by their standards and what they're capable of, their ceilings, you know that they want to get more involved in this offense. That's a big catch by Mack.
I think there's a couple of guys who've been impacted by the rotation quarterbacks due to injuries.
No question.
Yep. There's another one of these quarterbacks. Patterson handles short yardage. Into the game here in a second one. They're going to try to move him. He's going to throw it. It's bobbled. Picked up by Sneed. Pushes it ahead. Sneed still going. Not how they probably he drew that one up. No, but it'll be a first down. Patterson with a bit of a limp.
But I think because it was a lateral, it was a live play, and Snead was smart to recognize that it wasn't an incomplete pass. I mean, he's behind him, so he's looking for the pitch. It is backwards, so that's a live ball. He scoops it and gets the first down. Heads up play by Shea Patterson, because he could have taken the sack there.
Instead, they get 11 yards. And they work from the edge of the red zone. Back to Snead again. And he's eventually hit by Bratton. But decent pickup on first down as the Alouettes look to march back towards a lead.
Trying to see who blew up the blocking attempt by Austin Mack there. This play was designed to have Austin Mack come out and make a block, and it was Parrish that cut underneath it. No, it was Benji Franklin, the corner. Parrish ended up getting there.
Patterson with a bit of a limp. Back in, trying to find a first down. Has it. Down inside the 5. And Sluka with a touchdown saver there, as Patterson was looking for his 3rd touchdown in last 2 games.
Just off that left side. See how well blocked up front. Nice kick out block. I think that was Delar who gets the kick out, the fullback on Bratton.
It'll be 1st and goal. Patterson stays in the game with the ball on the Toronto 2. He's going to throw. He's pressured. Throws it low. Stevie Scott, the running back, had no chance at it. And it'll be 2nd and goal from the 2.
Yeah, he had a trouble with the snap, I think. Shea Patterson had to kind of regroup here. It looks like, let's see if it was a clean snap. Yeah, he juggled it for a second. Chatfield was closing quickly anyway. Even if he doesn't juggle it, I'm not sure he has time to complete this.
Snead is checked back into the game. Patterson, this time from the shotgun. Hands it off. Nowhere to go. Argo's defense denies again. This time it's Stevie Scott who runs into a wall. And double blue.
Yeah, Anthony Lanier. I think Derek Parrish was involved as well. And just shut it down. Deep handoff there to Stevie Scott. I mean, he was 7-8 yards back of the line of scrimmage, and the reason for that is so that he can read the blocks and then make his break, and has lots of time to do it. But Derek Parrish, I think, got the initial penetration and blew that play up.
A couple of interesting play calls. The 1st and goal from the Toronto 2. Now they find themselves having to settle for a chip shot field goal from Maltos Diaz. And that is up and through, and Montreal goes back on top 10-9. Scott, nowhere to go. Lanier locks it down. Shivers even. Love it. Welcome back to BMO. We're going to send it back down the sidelines where Luke Wilson has another one of the Overdrive boys.
You know, I'm here right now with Jamie Noodles McLennan. Over 250 NHL games, a distinguished hockey analyst, but your biggest achievement might have been the Canadian Football League not letting Commonwealth Stadium burn down.
I saved Commonwealth Stadium. I grew up in Edmonton. My dear friend Dwayne Rendrusiak, the equipment manager for the Edmonton Eskimos at the time, now the Elks, and Robbie Strecker would hire me every summer, 2 weeks of training camp. I worked with Joey Moss. I would do the laundry. I was the laundry boy. So I'd bring the laundry back to Commonwealth Stadium. The dryer explodes. I walk in, there's a big fire. It hits me because it's rolling around. The laundry hits me. I have to stop, drop, and roll. After I stop, drop, and roll, I run, call 911, and then I hook up a garden hose, and I battled that thing. I'm 16 years old. I had soot on my face. All hell was breaking loose, but I saved Commonwealth Stadium.
That's amazing. Luke, did you ever save a stadium? Like, that's a tough story to tell there. Like, there's no way. I just want to say Elks fans seem to appreciate, next time they go to Commonwealth, appreciate Jamie Noodles McLennan for saving the stadium.
Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Did you know that Jamie McLennan, I believe, is still technically suspended in the National Hockey League? Got suspended, retired. If he decided to have a comeback, he'd have to serve a suspension.
I absolutely love it. Now I want to see the clip. Like, how did he get suspended?
I want to know if there was a small little fire, and over the years it's become, the dryer was on fire and it was rolling towards me and I caught fire. Need somebody here to catch fire offensively tonight. Nothing yet. Daggy dumps it off to his running back, who's wrapped up immediately by Beverett. Then Dequoy comes in to help out, and it's another third down.
Great having the overdrive guys here, though, for this game tonight.
And if you're just joining us, Overdrive actually did their show here at BMO tonight. That's a great guest on. More the merrier at BMO.
Talked a lot of football. On the business of football. Great to have him here.
Haggerty just gets it away. Letcher waits. Now he takes at the 20. 47-yard kick. Letcher trying to find some space. A stumble. Stays on his feet. Look out. He's going to be tracked down from behind. D'Arcangelo eventually got to him.
Stop at number 35, D'Arcangelo.
And the fourth quarter looms here at BMO with the Argos having lost twice.
Toronto number 49, before the ball was kicked. That penalty is declined. That's the end of the quarter.
Argos have already lost twice to the Alouettes this season. They'll look to change that in the fourth. Coming up here in Toronto, the Argos trail the Alouettes 10-9. Not much going on offensively in this game. How does it get decided here?
Well, football, as you know, is a three-phase game. You got offense, defense, and special teams. In lower scoring games like this, often, especially in our league, there is a big play on the special teams. Denarian Grant is due. James Letcher is due for a big return. Maybe it's one of those guys on the teams that makes the difference in this fourth quarter.
I'd have no complaints with a late return touchdown in this one. Letcher getting stretched out a bit.
And full confession, I have some inside information on Letcher. I saw him in the elevator today.
I was going to say, what's that supposed to be?
And I said, introduce myself. Yeah. We talked for a second. Looking forward to getting ready. And let's not, Denarian Grant has looked on a couple of returns here tonight that he's 1 or 2 blocks away from breaking one.
Bob Bethel-Thompson gets this one away. Big hit. Austin Mack could not hang on to that. Willie Drew absolutely pops him. 3rd and 6.
Well, that's what you have to do as a DB when you're behind the receiver. He's either running an out or a curl. In this case, it's a curl from Mack. Try to separate the receiver from the football with the timing of the hit. And that timing bang on from Willie Drew.
Drew, 25 years old, out of Virginia State. And back to Zima they go again. Denarian Grant staring this one down in the distance. Ungerer is back there as well. And they're going to kick it away from Grant. That doesn't help your theory, Seuss. Unless Ungerer's got something up his sleeve. He's going to try to kick it out. He'll get to the 35, the 40, stiff arm, and all the way out to the 50. Not bad.
That's not bad. That's close.
Hey, and speaking of,
yes. 50, right on the 50.
Speaking of 50, this works out well. We'd like to send out a special birthday wish tonight, wouldn't we?
Yes, sir. 50 years old. We call him Rubes. And he's our director in the truck right now.
That's a chair that he has at his home.
Yeah.
That he sits in. And some birthday cupcakes from the crew for our friend who's now 50. One of the best ever to do it in that director's chair.
Congratulations, Rubes.
Happy birthday, Rubes. Big 5-0. He'll get this one to Polk. That's his first catch of the game. And we'll see if they maybe can activate him a little bit.
But look at the response from Pope and just his, again, Rubes tightening in on that shot was excellent on his reaction, almost like this receiving corps is getting a little frustrated.
That was a total it's about time look, wasn't it?
And he's still got a little bit of it as he goes back out for this play.
Moving back in, now he'll push back out into the slot to the left of Daggy. Daggy gets it away, found his running back to the line of scrimmage, no further. And it is a third down again for the Argos. So a decent return from Ungerer goes nowhere.
Boy, these defenses, not surprising, you know, as Matthew mentioned on the sideline, not surprising that the Montreal defense has kind of found its way again. It started the year on fire. I mean, you know, the first 5-6 games of the year, this defense was outstanding. And then through the losing skid, you know, they had some issues, and understandable when they went through all the quarterbacks they've had to go through in Montreal, but more surprising for the Argo defense the way they're playing tonight.
High kick. Letcher bobbles it. 32-yard kick as it hung up there. And a couple of flags that we will sort out when we return to Toronto on Friday night. The Alouettes hanging on 10-9.
No yards.
Anytime. Terms do apply. Bob Beppel-Thompson, 14-25, 173 yards, touchdown, and 3 interceptions in this one. They'll start this drive with him throwing a deep one down the field, drops it in there. Flag flies. Did Snead hang on as well?
I think he caught it anyway.
Oh, what a catch from Tyler Snead.
You know, in the break, I looked down on the sideline, and James Morgan was warming up.
Defensive pass interference. Toronto, that penalty's declined. The result of the play is a catch.
They put Snead, nothing fancy about the route, just straight go ball, and up over the shoulder in a perfect throw to Snead, who hangs on despite the interference by Benji Franklin. All of a sudden, a sense of urgency from McLeod Beppel-Thompson on that throw.
You don't see Snead on those ones very often. He's more of a over-the-middle, underneath type of guy, but wow, he did a great job hauling that one in.
Well, they moved him out. Yeah, he's usually in the slot.
Yeah.
I mean, they moved him out to wide out for this one play, and the Argos didn't try to match up in any way, shape, or form. They just left their field corner or boundary corner out there in Benji Franklin. But tough to defend a ball that's thrown that well.
Third catch of the game for Snead. He's got 63 yards after an incompletion. 2nd and 10. Beppel-Thompson down the field looking for Rambo. And Rambo goes down. No flags anywhere on that one, and it falls incomplete.
You know, watching that live, I think it's a good decision by the official. because, yeah, there was contact, and, yeah, they were both going down. Rambo on the inside there, he's going to run basically a wheel route. And Bratton is in coverage, and they both kind of slide and go down. Rambo went down on his own, and I think the official looking at it said that wasn't catchable anyway. The ball bounced well out of bounds. Now, is there going to be a challenge?
I think Jason Moss is going to challenge this, though.
Montreal is challenging defensive pass interference on their receiver number 14. The play will be reviewed.
It looked like Rambo was trying to sell it a little bit, though, wasn't it? Like, yeah, you said it. There was contact.
Yeah, they were both fading together to try and track the football. And, you know, I think pass interference is when you impede the receiver to try and track. You see up at the top left of your screen, it almost looked like he went down on his own. And I know there's a whole bunch of offense.
So, as you said, Soups, there was some initial contact.
Yeah,
we're not denying that. Right there. And then a little push.
Yeah.
A little push.
Okay.
I think it was helped by Rambo.
And where did the ball bounce?
Just outside the 10.
But out of bounds.
This is an interesting one. Big challenge from Jason Moss. Is he going to win it? Let's find out.
Upon review by the replay center, defensive pass interference. Toronto number 9. The ball will be placed. And automatic first down.
Oh, great challenge from Jason Moss.
Rambo's trying to push the arm down. Bratton's trying to push to maintain contact. Rambo goes down. I didn't see. I don't know.
Okay. 27-yard gain on the penalty. Back inside the red zone goes MBT and the Alouettes offense. Can they finish something here? Pressure in his face. Jumps as he throws. And a flag flies on the near sideline.
Illegal contact and receiver. Toronto number 23. We're going to go after distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Benji Franklin.
Well, Franklin's going to make an argument here from Rambo. He's going to step up here and that he's in the 5-yard zone. I think the official is saying it's illegal contact because it was from the side. You got to be square up on the receiver to make that contact. You can do it inside of 5. You can stop him in his tracks, in fact, inside of 5 yards. But you have to be square up. And I think that was from the side, and that's why that call and that flag came out. Dinwiddie won't challenge that one.
Just over 10 minutes remaining in the game. First and goal from the Toronto 8. They'll hand it off. Stevie Scott trying to push ahead, and he's held onto and taken down by Anthony Lanier.
That's a big pass interference call. Big in a one-point game. That's been a defensive battle. Put the ball inside the 10.
Tackle from Lanier. There wasn't much defensive help in behind him, and Stevie Scott got by. Try it again. Second and goal. The Argo 5. Rambo. Sneed. Slide over in the slot to the right for MBT. Looks in that direction. Throws in that direction. Drops it in there. Touchdown. Tyler Sneed. And the Alouettes extend their lead to 7.
Penalty aided for Montreal, but full pressure here from the Argos. They're sending the blitz, so it's going to be man-to-man coverage. Even down there, it usually is anyway. Just complementary routes to the right side of the formation. An out route combined with a post behind it. The post was to Sneed for the touchdown.
They will go for 2. Already leading by 7. They'll look to push it to 9. Snead in the slot to the left. MBT throws it, going up and getting it is Mack, working against Franklin. And Montreal now leads Toronto 18-9. It's a 6-play, 89-yard drive. Took just over 2 minutes. It ends in the hands of Tyler Snead and his 4th touchdown of the year.
Friday night coming up at 9:30 Eastern on TSN3. Vernon Adams Jr. facing his former team for the very first time. It is the Lions at the Stampeders coming up next.
That's a great second half of a Friday night double dip. Big game out in the West. Big one here in the East right now that the Alouettes control. This will be taken just outside the 10. McMahon brings it back and returns it outside the 35. Let's take another look at that touchdown drive that ended in the hands of Tyler Snead.
Yeah, I said penalty aided, but let's not take anything away from this big play that got the drive going, and a nice catch by Snead when he was well covered by Benji Franklin. And when you take a look at the pass interference on Bratton, okay, that puts it inside the 10. Don't necessarily agree, but Snead finishes it off. That's the 2-point play to Austin Mack.
So now a Toronto offense that has only generated 3 field goals in this game has to find a way to get something going, trailing by 9. And an injured Alouette down on the field. That's Lorenzo Burns.
Yeah, that's big.
He's up and walking off. This is a big one between these two clubs when we look at the East Division. We have to remember Montreal has already won this season series against Toronto. So Montreal holds the tiebreaker. That's why tonight is so big. Significant amount of separation, and Toronto has to finish ahead of Montreal. So this is a big one for the Argos if they can't find a way to come back here.
Well, they've defied some odds of late. The Argos gave up over 30 points 3 straight games and won.
Yards in the second half are 150 to 14 in favor of Montreal. That is laid up there, and going up and getting it was Polk. Highlight reel stuff for just his 2nd catch of the ball game.
And the best throw by Jared Daggy all night to get him on that outside cut on a corner. He's got coverage over the top one from Robert Kennedy. Just great body positioning. Kept that foot in bounds.
27-yard strike to Polk. This one batted down by Sankey, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Let's take another look at that catch from Mackay Polk.
Well, he looked like he was getting a little bit frustrated, and maybe he went and said something to either Coach Dinwiddie or Daggy and said, hey, just give me a shot out there. Whether you think I'm covered or not, throw it up and I'll go get it. That's what he does.
I was going to say, that is what it was, because he was covered.
Yeah.
Felt like he was wide open, and he found him. Big 2nd and 10 for Daggy here. He's 16 of 23 so far in this game. 4 options out to his left. Montreal's going to bring some heat. Daggy on the run. They're trying to track him down. He throws it, finds a man. It'll be short of the 1st down as he goes to Mittal.
Pretty good spot, Argo spot here.
That is a pretty good Argo spot.
I was going to say it looked like Mittal had it around the 40, but they're going to be at the 38. Montreal.
That's an excellent spot. 3rd and inches.
Shotgun.
They're going to line up in shotgun on the 3rd and inches. They'll hand it off. Lots of space.
That's risky.
And they push it ahead with Spencer Brown.
That's risky by design. I mean, let's take a look at the play. First of all, I thought Mittal's feet were right at the 40, and he got hit immediately. They gave him the spot.
Yeah, that was like 2 yards ahead. Daggy gets this one away. Brissett has it, tried to find the 20, could not get there. That is the first time we have mentioned his name tonight. So Daggy gets Brissett going finally. He's almost at 700 yards this season. That's his 47th catch of the year. And Toronto's going to want to move quickly here.
Yeah, Dinwiddie also wants to go tempo against the Montreal defense to try and have them declare early. They're very good at disguising what they do. Noel Thorpe's group will show linebacker blitz and then drop out of it. They'll sometimes show the linebackers and DBs up at the line and drop the defensive linemen out of it. Tempo can get them to declare early.
Daggy with Brissett. Vital to his left. Throws in that direction. And Brissett has his second catch of this drive. Beverette makes the tackle as time ticks down towards 6 minutes.
Well, they need 2 scores, so
if they get stopped here, they take a field goal.
Exactly.
You try to play some defense.
You need both. Defense has played pretty well all night long.
Daggy looking for 4 more here. Montreal shows pressure. They'll send 5. Daggy looks to his left, throws to his left, drops it in there for Herslow, who is working against Burns, and that is a first down for Toronto. Oh, it was Ungerer who held on to that one.
Again, well covered receiver and Unger. And Daggy just has a little bit of a throwing lane. He has to adjust his throwing motion a little bit with the pressure right beside him. It's a big one on second down.
First and goal from that Montreal 6. Alouettes send a bunch. Daggy has to get rid of it quickly. Laying out on the far side was Polk. And they're going to mark him down at the 1.
He said something. He went in there and said something.
It's time.
Just give me not well. They ruled that a catch. Jason Moss would have to challenge it.
Challenge flag is on the field. Moss didn't waste any time on that one.
Montreal is challenging the ruling of the previous play. They believe the pass was incomplete. The play will be reviewed.
I think we got a pretty good look for you at this one. Daggy saw that heat coming, got rid of it quickly, laid it out there for Polk, who had to go get it. Let's give you a couple looks at what's being challenged right now.
Yeah, I thought from this angle that he had made the catch, but that this replay angle shows something completely different. You can't use the turf to assist you in the catch, and that front of that ball looked like it might have hit the turf. You can see the white on the ball as well.
It might have been assisted by the ground.
Mackay Polk's telling us a lot by his expression tonight.
All right, let's find out what the ruling is.
Upon review by the replay center, the ruling of field is overturned to an incomplete pass. It will be second down.
Argo fans not happy.
Oh, I think they got this call right, though. He has it there, but he has to survive the ground, keep it off the turf. I mean, there's evidence on the ball.
A bit of a twist maybe there as he landed. So they'll go second and goal from the Montreal 6. Can Daggy find a way to finish? He's got trips down to the right. Now they'll bring a man around. That's Grant. Pressure in his face. Daggy on the run. Throws to the end zone. Wide open. Who else? Herslow got it again. 6 games in a row. And Toronto has life with just over 5 to play.
Didn't catch the number live, but there was one Montreal Alouette defender that had a chance to cut this play see all the misdirection. Here's the bootleg. I think it was Najee Murray who had a chance at contain and just took a bit of a bad angle inside, and Murray got caught. Good job, baby. Daggy got outside and found Herschel.
Araujo knocks it through, and we've got a 2-point game at BMO. A 9-play, 75-yard drive that took exactly 4 minutes, and it's the 9th touchdown of the year for Jake Herslow. Daggy's fired up.
Two touchdowns in each of the last 3 games. Jake Herslow is trying to tell his young quarterback on this crossing road, hey, 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 I'm open. Adds to that total. That's 9 on the season.
You saw Mekhi Polk in the background behind him going, I'm open too.
I'm open too. Oh, onside.
Onside kick. Bobbled. And we'll be looking for a ruling on this one. And it will be Montreal ball. Araujo has his hands on his head.
Well, let's see the quick kick. I'm not sure if this was... We'll take a look at the kick here. Araujo's just kind of, yeah, nothing to see here, folks. They had one guy over there to try and recover it. Did go 10, but I think the problem was when Edouard got a hand on it, but last touch there.
Toronto is down. All the Argos players are saying it should be their ball. They're furious because they're saying...
Well, Joshua Archibald touched it on its way out.
Upon automatic review by the replay center, the Montreal player was still inbounds when he pushed the ball out of bounds. Therefore, first down Montreal.
It was close. But the replay center got to look at it. And it says it was last touched by Montreal. It off to Scott. We're going to give you another look at this kick.
John Edouard, I think, is the cover guy who had a chance at it. And had he knocked it out...
Timer, please reset. Wow. Timer, please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Toronto took a timeout.
That one's tough because his left foot.
Left foot is inbound. You can't see the other foot, whether or not it was on the stripe, but it was automatically replay. So all the angles were looked at by the replay center, and they determined that Archibald touched it last. But had Edouard tried to bat it instead of recover it,
yeah, because it came right towards him,
right to him
off his arm, right? Interesting decision. Unable to execute. MBT down the field. Philpott saying he was held on to. Now a flag does come out late, but there's another flag at the beginning of the play as well. I think we have 2 different things to sort out this time.
Well, Willie Drew, I believe, was in coverage on Philpott. We'll take a look at that again.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Montreal number 85. Defensive pass interference on Toronto. We're going to go up 5 and replay the down. Correction. It will be a first down for Montreal.
5 yards gives Montreal the first down, which is what Andre was correcting there. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the Toronto 44. Back to Scott again. Broke one tackle. Stays on his feet. He's got a first down just outside the 30. He wants the ball a little bit more, doesn't he?
Well, every running back does.
He's been pretty adamant about it a couple times tonight, though.
It's like I say about receivers, they're open all night. Like the convenience stores, and running backs are the same. They want to eat. They just, every time they get a 10-yarder, they're over there at the coach looking at him saying, just give me the ball.
Scott got about 3 more yards with McManus hanging off his back. Hand it off again. Scott trying to push it ahead. Decent pickup on first down as that clock ticks down towards 3.5 minutes.
Interesting decision by Ryan Dinwiddie to go for that trick onside play with that much time left.
And your defense have been playing pretty well. I mean, he could have kicked it deep, played deep, got the ball back.
Well, I'm not giving him an alibi, and I'm sure that a lot of people will talk about that as to whether or not that was a good or bad decision, but the element of surprise was certainly part of that. It wasn't like we're lining up for an onside, put your hands team out there, and this is what we're going to do with 4.5, 5 minutes to go. Might even been 6.
Argo said 5. MBT trying to stay in the pocket. And he's able to dump it off to Sibasu. Got about half of what they needed, and that takes us inside 3 minutes at BMO. It's the Alouettes with the ball and the lead. CFL action continues tonight. A big one, too, between the Lions and the Stampeders. 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific.
Nathan Rourke's been on a roll. The Calgary Stampeders get their receivers back and healthy. Oh, that's going to be a beauty.
Diaz settles in, looking for the 5-point cushion, and he's got it. All right, so Montreal with a small cushion, 2.5 to play, and the Argos about to get the ball back. There is a flag sitting on the field just inside the 30.
Misconduct penalty, Montreal number 61, 10-yard penalty.
Right tackle, McGloster. I think Moss was very surprised by this. I think you saw him say, how long after the play was this?
Yeah. A little bit of a scrum and some talking going on. There's McGloster. Saying something, there it is. Something he said. Officials, in fairness, the officials there, they were breaking them up and probably could have thrown a flag earlier.
Let it go for a little bit.
Let it go and just said, wait, stop, and then finally sits up.
Jason Moss with a quick word for his right tackle.
Yep. That is a ugly feeling.
Really, the coach come walking over to you like you sit there by yourself.
Yeah.
Altos Diaz, ready to hammer it down the field. Drops in to Janarian Grant, 40. Janarian Grant, midfield, down inside the 50, still going, spins away, and rolls inside the 40. And there is a significant kick return from Janarian Grant.
Sometimes these one-possession games, it's the special teams, it's that phase, especially with these returners, that can be the difference makers. Now, can the third-string quarterback in Jared Daggy capitalize?
He did last week.
Yes, he did.
Led a game-winning drive last week. This is a 50-yard return. The drive starts on the Montreal 40, and Toronto certainly in business.
They need a major.
They'll clear everybody out. Daggy looks over the middle, throws over the middle, and that is broken up. Quick close on that ball from Najee Murray. And that quiets the crowd here at BMO.
Good timing, but Daggy doesn't really have to throw it to the sticks here. I mean, they're gonna 3 down time now.
He went 3 of 6 on that closing drive against Edmonton last week to set up the walk-off winning field goal. Field goal not going to cut it here at home tonight. Daggy. Purslow trying to get away. Burns hangs on. Ball briefly popped out, but Purslow gathered it back up, and that will bring up 3rd down.
You know, you're flirting with it at 2:14. I don't know that there's enough time. I think you got to go here.
That's what they're going to do. 3 receivers to the wide side right for Daggy. How many are Montreal going to send here defensively? Just 3. Daggy, far side, held on to. Polk does it again with Sutton all over him. First down, Argos.
Yeah, and props to Jared Daggy on this throw because, yeah, it's a pretty high percentage throw. It's an out route on time, but he waits that extra second to allow Polk a little bit of separation.
Fresh set from the Montreal 27.
Here they come.
Daggy on the run to his right. Heaves it down the field. Incomplete. Felt that pressure and just threw it away.
Saves time 2. Immediately stopped the clock. Didn't take the loss.
Lots of time left in this ball game. 2nd and 10 for Daggy. He's 23 of 33. He's thrown the ball 33 times in his 2nd CFL start.
So if you're Montreal and Noel Thorpe, thinking blitz or show blitz and drop.
It's a 2nd and 10 situation. Alouettes coming. Gonna bring some heat. Daggy on the run again. Gets it away. Found a man. It's Brissett. Broke a couple of tackles. Ugawak eventually finishes him off. And that'll be 3rd down. And they are bringing out the field goal team.
Really?
With 1:41 on the clock.
So at 2. Okay. At 2:21 and 3rd down, they're not kicking the field goal.
Could have been a deeper one, obviously.
A little bit, but not significant enough to think that you wouldn't make it. I mean, that's.
You don't like it, do you?
No, that's a little surprising. I mean, if you're going to do that with the strategy and get your defense out to get one more stop, why not do it at 2:21? Why are you doing it at 1:34?
You're asking fair questions here, Chris. I don't know if you're going to get much of an argue from me. Because what would it have been? It would have been inside 50.
Yeah.
It would have been, what, like 45-yarder maybe?
Well, I don't even think it was that long. Who's been, I mean, he missed one tonight, but he's been at 90% this year and coming off a game with a walk-off field goal. And I just, you know, if the strategy is you believe in your defense to get one more, now they're going to try the onside. It looks like they're organizing to try an onside kick.
It would have been about a 41 or 42-yarder if they decided to go a little bit earlier, which is very much makeable.
Right in his
Harala, who's a 90% guy on the year.
In his wheelhouse. See, and if you do it at 2:21, which was about the time, correct?
You don't onside it.
You don't have to. You don't necessarily have to onside. I mean, that's right. Was right where that bubble was. I thought. I mean, if it's 250, you kick the field goal and you kick it deep, and you want your defense to get the 2 and out. At 220, you might have to try an onside kick, but I don't know. It's really surprising that he didn't do it at 220 and did do it at 130.
Araujo with that ball teed up at the 30. There will be no onside kick. It'll be a bit of a shorter kick. That will bounce.
Whoa, it's live.
That bumbles. He's got to get there. And he does. But a few tense moments for Rambo. Sluka just a little bit slow getting there.
Well, once that ball travels 10 yards, it is a live ball. No one has to touch it. For the Argos to go down and recover it, and Rambo lost his footing. Well, he just recovered in time, too, because that... Wow. Luka, split second away.
All right, we're going to head and send it back down to the sidelines here as it is time for Wilson's game ball. Interested to see where Luke goes tonight. It's all you, buddy.
Dustin, I'll be honest, in games like this when your offense is struggling, you know, both teams been a defensive battle, it's hard to stay in it as a pass catcher, so I'm giving my game ball to Tyler Snead. This guy's come out here today and he's made big plays. One possession game, you need that guy to spark the offense. He's got 4 catches for 68 yards, another 11-yard rush, but it was this play right here where this was the game-changing play. They went to him, it's a great throw, it's an unbelievable catch, and then he finishes it off with a touchdown, a little sliding catch in the end zone. Again, it's just been a gritty performance. It's been tough all night for both offenses. I thought Tyler Snead's really stayed in and battled for his team.
Luke, I thought you were going to give it to O-Dog.
I think I should give it to Noodles after he saved. That was the first time I heard that story about Commonwealth.
Yeah. Well, he saved Commonwealth. Noodles.
Yeah. Noodles might be the real game MVP.
Luke, what do you think of the decision there to take that field goal instead of keep driving?
I thought it was very strange, especially because Nagy seems like he was kind of getting in rhythm there. But maybe they have a lot of confidence here. Again, they can stop him, get the ball back, kind of win like they did last week. So it's going to be one of those things where if it doesn't work out, we're all going to be questioning it. But if it does, he's a genius.
That's how it works, eh? You either screwed up or you're a genius, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did, and you guys were talking about it. The idea that you wouldn't, go for it or kick it earlier into later on 3rd and 4. I thought there was no way they weren't going to go for that. So.
Yeah, I thought after they passed that first one up, it was full go. 3 down the rest of the way. So, all right, well, let's settle in here. 93 seconds left.
It still can work, by the way. A quick 2 and out.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto has 1 timeout.
If it works on the game-winning field goal, I'll say, Dinwiddie's a genius. He's a genius. Let's see what happens. Their defense made some plays tonight. They're going to start it on the ground is Scott. And he pushes it ahead, fights hard, gets about 6 yards, and it'll be a 2nd and 4. 1:28 on the clock here. And a timeout has been called.
Timeout, Toronto.
So they burned their last one. Stop the clock.
This will be an interesting play call. MBT has not necessarily been on tonight.
I'm going to be checking where Tyson Philpott lines up because he hasn't had the game that he had against Saskatchewan. But he is a primary target in these situations. Even on those sort of swing passes or bubble screens. Will Jared Daggy get one more shot?
Here we go. Sideline, seeing if his defense can get him the ball back. Big 2nd and 4 right here. Stevie Scott stands in next. McLeod Bethel Thompson. Philpott at the top of your screen. MBT looks to his left. Now he's going to have to take off. He's in trouble to be taken down. Argos defense gets it done. Derek Parrish gives them life.
Had Philpott on a crossing route right in front of McLeod Bethel Thompson, but the pass rush flushed him to the left, and when it flushed him to the left, he lost Philpott that was coming around here. Looked like it was designed to hit him right around 5 or 6 yards and move the chains, but when he got flushed to the left, he lost Philpott. Parrish brings him down.
sack of the night for the Argos defense. This will be kicked away with about a minute left. Zima waits. Now he'll take it. And he kicks it up in the direction of Janarian Grant, who will take it just inside the 35. Right up the middle on a 47-yard kick. Short return. Let's dial it back. 1 week. And the Argos found a way to get it done with Daggy at the helm.
Got out there to Mackay Pope. Down the middle again. And a walk-off field goal for Hairolahu. They need 20 yards of offense in 51 seconds.
His long this season is 56. He missed tonight from just outside 50. 1st and 10 from their own 45. Daggy gets it away, drops it in there. Brissett working on Murray. He's not happy with the spot. He thought he got it. It's really close.
Vital is trying to shake off an injury here as he gets back to the huddle. He's got to hustle.
2nd and inches. Clock will tick from 45 down. 3 options to the right. Montreal going to send a little bit of heat, and Daggy wants that one back. Just not good. Yeah, throws it in front of Vital, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, they know they can get it, but the enemy is not getting the first down here. It's the clock. And now you know that was supposed to be just first down plus, closer to field goal range. Now the clock is the real issue.
Vital has come out of the game. Janarian Grant in. Daggy is going to keep it himself, push ahead. That's a first down. Toronto got it.
That took 3 seconds. But Toronto can't stop it with a timeout, so it'll be whistled in, and that clock will start. Both teams are allowed to make their substitutions.
And Vital has come back into the game here for the Argos. He's in the slot. Unger at the bottom of your screen. Herslow up at the top. And they're going to hand it off into the hands of Spencer Brown, who takes it down just outside the 50.
From the line of scrimmage to the holder where the ball is placed is 7 yards. This would be a 58-yard attempt.
2nd and 6. Daggy got to find some yards here. Montreal brings some heat right up the middle. Daggy gets it away. Intercepted. Taken away by Sutton. And it's over. The Alouettes defense locks it down. And Montreal will complete the sweep of the Argos. However, a flag does sit at midfield.
Really late flag.
What is this?
After the interception, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Toronto number 51, first down Montreal.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the play. It was well after the fact. Interception stands. Game over.
No magic from Daggy tonight. Polk wanted a call.
Well, here's Polk on the inside route. And he thought he got pulled. Dinwiddie does not have a timeout.
Kyle Bethel Thompson will have his 3rd win as the starting quarterback of the Alouettes this season. Let's give you another look at this.
And that's the other thing we didn't look to, that he secured it. Little rub route, and Sutton comes up with a game-winning interception.
Montreal Alouettes, they have a stranglehold on 2nd in the East now.
Yeah, just got a little bit of separation, and remember now not only have the season series with the Argos, but they have now swept the Argos and are looking at home field. Lots of football to be played, though.
Well, it wasn't a pretty one tonight, but the Montreal Alouettes overcome 3 interceptions from McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Their defense steps up in a big way and comes away with a 21-19 victory in Toronto. All right, CFL coverage continues on TSN. Let's send it to Kate Burness.